Y'all are already killing me. I'm already reading the comments. Okay. Number one, hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, y'all, welcome back. If y'all can hear me okay, if y'all can see me okay, go ahead and leave a comment so I don't get too far. Because y'all know two things that my lives be good for. Well, I don't know, three things, but two things my lives be good for is the connection gonna break because we live. You know, I like live better than pre-recorded. Can't really help that. You know, paying for top tier Wi-Fi and don't be giving top tier Wi-Fi. And then the other thing is that the audio is gonna be messed up, and I'm gonna be talking, and the people on replay who have sense know to fast forward. Okay. Let me say hello. Hey T. Hey Carissa. Necey D. Amethyst girl. She said, just in time to distract my emotional breakdown. Girl, I would give you some words of encouragement, but I be having them days too. So what I will say is have that emotional breakdown, but you know, feel how you want to feel and then get back to business. So let's respect that emotional breakdown. Okay. I'm glad to have you. Hey, Shay K. Hey Lauren, who else is here for the Esspo of it all? Norris, hey California Cutie, we were just talking in DMs earlier. Felicia and Ashley Marr, Emla Black. Okay, I think we got everybody so far. Okay, so I wanted to come on live and talk to y'all about the Black Business Esspo, which is also the Comeback Group 2.0. And I wanted to give y'all my thoughts. So I didn't get to do a review for the last episode. But really, I feel like we can round that up because it was a to be continued. I do have some thoughts on this episode that I want to talk to y'all about. I want to brainstorm and just let y'all know like what my impression of it was. I also have been hearing that nobody could find the episode anywhere. And I have to say that that's factual. That's even more reason why I wanted to come on and review the episode and give y'all the graphics, because I know probably more than the normal amount of y'all haven't seen the episode yet. I was actually looking. Ooh, come on, friend. Come on, T. She said, oh, y'all be friends, right? Today I closed on my first home sale. Come on. I love it. I love it. Damn, that just got me excited. I couldn't remember what I was gonna say, but yes, the episode. You couldn't find an episode anywhere, y'all. So you know, I had to go through one of them dark web pages to find an episode, and I screenshot some graphics on here for y'all. So if y'all haven't seen the episode, I got some graphics, and we can talk about it. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into order of events. One other thing, if you haven't liked the video, go ahead and do me a favor. All right. I hope that y'all have gotten the likes out of the way. So we're going to start off where last week pretty much ended, where the ladies were having a spa day. Everybody was wearing some sassy, y'all know we got to replace our X's with S's. Everybody was wearing some sassy red robes. And, you know, the ladies were getting along, even Mel and Tisha. Well, all except for Kiki and Tiffany. So we're going to talk about that, okay? So Kiki wanted, y'all, as I gather my thoughts, low-key getting more annoyed because I'm thinking about what happened last week that I have already removed myself from, okay? Let me say this. Kiki, you about to get on my nerves this season. I'm sorry. You are about to get on my nerves this season. And I feel like it's gonna make me look bad because I was going up for you when you was against your cousin. Not really. Let me say that. Not really. I always told y'all I didn't find, like, it didn't sit well with me. Like, I'm sitting with Tiffany on this one, that you would do your cousin like this for any type of gain, right? But I'll say this. I tolerated Kiki more when I felt like her purpose was to come on the show and do what's never been done before, which is to share the stuff that the Scotts allegedly worked so hard to hide, right? That's when I was going up for her. But Kiki, girl, she kind of giving us the runaround, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. My thing is this: if you decide that this season you want to get back in good graces with your cousin, because Mel and your cousin are cordial, let's be for real. If you want to decide that that's the way that you want to move, I need you to take full accountability for the shit that y'all have been through. But that don't just only go one way. Tisha, I'm gonna need you to take full accountability for the blocks that you have helped placed in front of Kiki, in my opinion, in my assumption. I don't know these people from a can of paint, but I get the feeling that yes, Kiki got in her own way by being on drugs, right? Drugs. She got in her own way. But let's be for real, y'all did something to prevent her from getting on the show. I mean, Kiki had talked about it, didn't really talk about it. You lightweight had everybody insinuating what was actually going on with Kiki, and then she found out and, you know, stood in her own truth and said she was on drugs. Meanwhile, y'all ain't really stood in y'all's own truth. But anyway, go. Y'all are both doing the same thing to each other. So what Kiki decided to do this episode was come to the spa day and confront the ladies, Kimmy, Tiffany, Stormy, as though they all did something wrong and she was the only one that was in the right. And this is referencing back to the Christmas party. She feels like everybody else made it seem like what she did or what she didn't say was much worse than what it actually was. And I have to tell you, Kiki, that's a lie. I have to tell you that delusion must run in the family, because the way that y'all are able to twist things to fit your narrative and be mad is just like, it's insane. That's a talent. I think Tiffany nailed it right on the head when she sat there and was like, you know, I don't understand because I would never do my family like that. And Kiki's like, no, you don't understand because you don't have family. You don't understand. Da, 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 da. Kiki, I think you just look foolish. I hate to say it. I think you looked foolish. But let's go here. Let me scroll down. I'm pulling up my notes. Okay. So Stormy overhears the ladies talking about her. She goes to the room and she's finally talking to Kiki about what's going on. She basically like, Kiki, if you had a problem with me, you should tell me to shut the fuck up. You should have said, Stormy, you should have shut the fuck up. And yes, I'm with you, Stormy, on that one. Kiki, if you had an issue in that moment, you should have told Stormy to shut up, for real. But you didn't, because you wanted to get along with the mess. And the thing was, I think Stormy also wanted to get along with the mess. And she was speaking on things that she saw in the blogs as somebody who went from off the show to on the show, or as a viewer of the show to on the show, right? So next, Stormy ends up talking to Kiki and Tisha about it, and she's like, no, this is what was said. Basically, the conversation was about alleged infidelity that was out in the blogs. And y'all know Tisha out here on the side, we're not going to address that. We're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to address that. No, we're not going to talk about it at all. And Stormy's like, no, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just saying, that's what we was talking about. We was talking about the infidelity. And Tisha's like, yes, I know, but we're not going to address it. Y'all, just that part low-key irked me, because just it's too much producing going on. Okay, it's too much producing. Tisha was basically trying to cock block Stormy from even touching on the subject of what the conversation was last season. You don't even want the words infidelity coming out of her mouth when it comes to you and your husband, when you know that that's been a running topic on the show. And I could see, like, if it was something in the blogs where you like, girl, that's bullshit, I'm not going to address it. But this has been a running topic on the show. And for you to think that that conversation is off limits, or you going to make it off limits, and all she's doing is purely referencing something, I was annoyed, okay? Another thing that I was low-key annoyed about, we'll get to in a second. But anyway, Mel, she ends up leaving. Mel sitting there, she just came for her nice spa day, and she's sitting there, and she says, because her voice is gone, okay, Now, ladies, we all were coming here for a purpose, and this doesn't really feel like this is the way that we should get back to our purpose and work towards things as a group. So, with that being said, ladies, I'm going to go. You all have a blessed night. And honestly, y'all, Stormy was low key already mad at Mel. It was kind of giving passive aggressive. It was giving passive aggressive, like, no, that's how you get through things. You get through things and you move forward by having a proper conversation. Now, I say that this is passive aggressive because I told y'all in the first or second episode, I did not feel like the Mel and Stormy thing went over the way that it should have. And the reason why I didn't feel that way was because Mel had never voiced her boundaries. I feel like two things, like, you can't say that you have a boundary and people should know that you go ghost and then you come back. But then on the other side of the fence, you can't, play in somebody's face and get close to people who, that person don't feel safe around and expect, everything to go back to normal. So it was passive aggressive. It was, we can't move forward by not having a proper conversation. And I was like, oop, she didn't lie though. Okay. So Mel was like, okay, well, that's your opinion. I'm going to have a good night. And she ended up leaving. I hope you all have a good night. Thank you. Thank you, Tisha, for inviting me. She thanked her on the way out. She gave her a hug and she left. Now, before we jump to Martell and the boys, I want to ask y'all real quick. Do y'all feel like Tisha is really enjoying her and Mel being cordial? And there's nothing wrong with that. I hope that she does. But it's making me feel like how in earlier seasons, I kind of felt like Tisha had always felt some type of way towards Mel. There was some jealousy in the mix. And I think that was the reason why she would get so revved up about the smallest shit when it came to Mel, because when you really think about it, like, their beef was never that deep. It was never that deep, right? But when I watched them operate this episode, I feel like Mel is doing a really great job at being very fake. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. Church hug, leave. Tisha, I think, is actually enjoying it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the reason why I'm calling this out is because I think that at the end of the day, Tisha wants to be friends. Tisha wants to be looked at the same way that people look at Mel, which is like the leader of the show. But we'll talk about that some more whenever we get into the ladies. But Andrea says, yes, she thinks so. Felicia says she thinks both Mel and Tisha like being cool. Cutie Pie D says, I think she is. Lisa says, yes. Okay. Felicia says, I think Mel and Tisha are just tolerating each other, so no. I don't know. I just get the feeling that Tisha would like to be friends with her, for real. But that was definitely a church hug, yes. And how you gonna be friends with a dark soul? Whatever. So we'll get into it, okay? Just kind of this whole episode, I kind of peeped some things that had me like, okay. So let's move on into the men's. So the men's are meeting up, and I'm saying men's in a funny way, okay? Y'all know what show we talking about. The men's are meeting down to the baseball field. Big Lou was out of town, so they had another facility. And this is just an opportunity for Martell to play in Sheree's face. And attempt to play in our face, but that's not working. So he's having a conversation with the Scott brothers. Both Maurice and Marceau is there. And Martell gets a phone call. The phone rings and he hits that, it's Sheree. It's Sheree calling. I was like, Sheree, let me go ahead, and you ain't even on the show yet, but let me go ahead and give you this clown mask, okay? I see you got your clown mask on like you always do, Sheree. Go ahead, put that nose on, girl. Because this man is literally playing you. It's so funny because what we're going to see is two different narratives on two different shows. We're going to see Martell talking about, It's Sheree. Single life is hard. I want to walk my wife to the ex car. I want to walk with nobody in the park but you. We're going to see him do all that type of stuff on his show. And then on Sheree's show, it's going to be like, I have a boyfriend. Martell. I mean, it's already in the blogs that Martell had been trying to talk to Kenya Moore, which is not no surprise. Kenya is fine. And Martell was trying to find his way to get onto any show. And really just hit the blogs. I think, as crazy as it sounds, I don't think that Martell's sole purpose is like, oh my gosh, what is Mel going to think about this? But I think a great portion of his purpose is, oh my gosh, what is Mel going to think about this? Oh my gosh, how can I look like I upgraded? So I'm sure he tried to talk to Kenya. But girl, that man hit the side button on your ass. And Maurice was like, dang, we hitting the side button now? We hitting the side button on her? And he was like, no, it's just she knew that I was going to be hanging out with the guys. So, you know, she knows I'll call her back. What it's starting to feel like is something that is contractual, something not necessarily like sign the dotted line contractual, but it's given very much, they both know that they're not truly interested in the other one. They're interested in the reactions that they're going to get from their audiences. So that's exactly what it was given. So Maurice says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Okay, I don't know what Bible verse that is, but I'm glad that he brought it up, right? And he was like, you know, first you were walking Mel out, now you got Sheree, you know, it might be a triple-minded man. And this honestly was just an opportunity for Martell to talk about Sheree. Sheree is invited to some upcoming event. So obviously we're going to see her on the show from what we've seen in the previews. And really Martell just talks about how he's open to the idea of having more kids with Sheree. That's why I did that long ass pause. Sheree, we know you've been snatched and lifted for the gods, okay? We know that your surgeon be pumping you up and you be looking good, Sheree. Body be looking good too. But Sheree, Sheree, quit playing with me. Quit playing with me right now, okay? Why would you start all the way over? I'm not trying to knock this older woman's fertility, okay? I'm not trying to do that. But just logically speaking, you have a kid that's in her 30s, who I didn't know was your kid, that the people said allegedly you try to play off as your assistant when you first joined the show. I don't know. You got a kid who just had a kid. I think your son is like 25. And then you got a younger one, Callie. I remember her name. Please don't do that. Don't have another kid and the kids be in pre-K and on Real Housewives of Atlanta and you having the first birthday party for both the uncle and the grandchild, or the uncle and the nephew at the same time. I know people do it every day, but Sheree, quit playing in our faces. I mean, Sheree, quit playing in our faces for real. So he brings that up and he's just reaching, like, how do you go from saying, oh, I'm going to decline her call to, oh, she's open to having more kids? But the thing is, like, it's not Sheree who you're open to having more kids with. And the thing is this, Martell, like, y'all, I just don't understand this man. This is one of those moments where I feel like he's saying stuff because his motivation is, what is Mel going to think of this? What is everyone going to think of this? Because I want everyone to think that I have moved on. What can I do to make Mel hurt the way that I have hurt? Maybe I can have children and get married and start a real family. Girl, boy. Okay. So when it comes to that, the Scott brothers start talking about how, you know, they start thinking about their dad and how the dad had 8 kids and he was there for them and that they weren't poor, they just weren't rich. And that they never felt like they were poor. And that the dad never left them. But let me say this, y'all. The comical moment in that conversation was Marceau says, yeah, my dad was 27 with 8 kids. And Martell's first response was, wow, 27 with 8 kids, and he didn't dip out on y'all? I want to tell y'all why I'm holding on to that comment. I'm holding on to that comment because I want y'all to realize where his logic is and where his motherfucking mama's logic is. He said 8 kids and he didn't dip out on y'all because Martell's daddy did. Okay? No disrespect, but your daddy dipped out on you, right? So that's why your mama think that you're just some upstanding man because you haven't dipped out on your kids, even though you haven't other kids. So low key, that's why your mama is more upset with Mel because Mel didn't settle for what she would have settled for. Your mama would have settled for a man to help her take care of her kids, even if he had outside babies, as long as she had that help. But she feels like Mel is being ungrateful because you a good man. You a good man. And just the fact that he jumped up and said 8 kids and he didn't dip out on y'all, I was like, trash. Trash. Listen to the responses, y'all. People will tell you everything that you need to know about them, and you will know what's wired in the very back of their brain. All up in your motherfucking brain. You'll know what's wired in the very back of their brain if you just listen to them talk. And Martell showed his ass. But my question here is, y'all, whenever we were watching this show like 2 seasons ago and the Scott brothers were talking about how much they work and that they didn't care if they was working themselves into a damn heart attack, they said that they worked that way because they had to help their mom. Is that right or not? I'm just very confused on how, like, when you was a workaholic, it's because y'all didn't have shit, right? Y'all was homeless, y'all was living out of cars, y'all was picking up cans, y'all was doing all types of stuff, right? To get money and to support your mama. And now your dad is on screen, I believe, for the first time, at least since I've been watching the show. And y'all weren't poor. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. What is going on? Esquire says definitely said he had to sleep in a church. like, what is going on? What is going on? I don't understand. Like, I don't think we're gonna get clarity on this. But the storylines are definitely storying. Okay. I don't know what's true. I don't know if both things are true and those are just two different chapters of your life, because that could very much be true. Your daddy couldn't have been around for a good portion of your life. And now that you're older and you respect him and you see his side of things, maybe you don't want to talk down on him no more. But I don't understand. Amethyst says, tell him, Necey, because the daddy stayed long enough to create 8 kids, but they're shocked that he stayed to have his 8 kids. Martell and his mama truly don't know any better. They don't know no better. They don't know no better. So yeah, that was pretty much the scene with Martell. He was just wasting time. Get out of here right now. Okay, I don't have a picture of Marceau and his work colleague, but you know, Marcel's work colleague ended up taking over Tisha's desk. I guess it's a 2-desk office. And he's in there, and this kind of just feel like a scheme that Tisha and Marceau didn't set up. Yet another season, y'all, we are talking about work. We are talking about husband and wife work dynamics. We are talking about Tisha wanting to be respected as the businesswoman and CEO that she is for another season, you guys. And basically, his colleague, I wish I got his name. I didn't get his name, but he ends up making a joke and he says, hey, if you treat me like Tisha, I don't know if I want to marry you. I don't know if this is going to be a permanent business venture. Basically, he's joking. And they end up getting into this deep discussion, and his colleague ends up telling him, if I could go back, I wish that I would have worked in more of a partnership with my ex-wife, because he felt like, from something his dad told him, is that his dad always told him that, oh, thank y'all, Gino is his colleague's name. So his dad told him that, hold on, what's the Donna says the mother left, and that's how they ended up in the South. I don't know nothing about that. I would like to know more. Anyway, Gino is basically saying that you should treat your wife like a partner because the way he was raised, his father always told him that he was raising wolves. It's very similar to how people say you only as strong as your weakest link, right? You want to make sure that your wife is just as strong as you. You want to make sure that everybody on your team is wolves and not sheep. So finally, I don't know what happened. I don't know why this epiphany came over Marceau. He very much was like, that's a great way to think about it. Yeah, I just want to shield my wife from everything that's bad because I don't want to come home and say, hey, bills are kind of tough this month. You don't want to expose everything bad that's going on. Now, I think this was a good conversation for them to have. I think Gino made a lot of sense, but y'all, I don't really feel no type of ways because this is very much feeling like a scheme that Tisha and Marceau set up, in my opinion. We talking about this and shit for a whole nother season. And it's just wild to me that Tisha is going to go get an office at her in-laws' office because she got kicked off her desk. I don't understand, okay? I don't understand. But anyway, let's go on from this to the next part because I ain't really care about that. Tisha and Kimmy end up having a sit down and Mel eventually comes along. I'm gonna tell y'all what was said, but then I'm gonna tell y'all what the sit down was actually about and how this was a scheme that production set up. Y'all, this whole episode, like, it's making me nervous. It's making me nervous because whenever you start seeing the produced scene, when you start seeing people who can't stand each other tolerate each other, it's giving check. It's giving, I want to extend this another season. And when the shit get like that, it don't be good no more. So I'm getting kind of nervous, y'all. I'm getting kind of nervous. So Tisha and Kimmy end up meeting up because Tisha wants to take a look at the office space because she got kicked off her desk, right? How you the president of the company, you get kicked off your desk. But that's what I'm telling y'all, it's a scheme that they set up. But anyway, she ends up stopping by and they basically just recap the whole conversation with Tiffany and Kiki. And Tisha basically was like, yeah, didn't either one of them care. They was both turned up. And yes, they were turned up. That was one of the moments where I felt like I had to agree with Tiffany. And I didn't feel like Tiffany was speaking out of turn by saying, I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you. Like, I really didn't. I agree with Tiffany in that scene. And I'm glad that somebody said it because the thing is this, like, Kiki, you want to be around a group, but you don't want nobody to call you out for your shit. Like, you can't be moving funny like that and think that nobody's going to say anything. Like, Tisha might not hold you accountable, but I'm going to let you know right now, I don't fuck with you. So I'm not mad at Tiffany for saying that at all. But Mel ends up coming. So Mel comes and we get this little sit down like we got right here. We got Kimmy, we got Tisha, and we got Mel. And Mel's just showing up. She's very nice. Hey, Kimmy. Hey, girl. I bought cheese and crackers. And Kimmy goes and gets the wine. And then she's hugging Tisha. And they're like, hey, girl, how are you? You look so cute. Oh, my gosh. Look at you looking like a big Mariah. They keeping it cute, right? So Kimmy sits everyone down. And she's like, okay. I really liked how, Tisha, you threw this party for me. Which, let's get on this, y'all. I don't know if this was just like, on every reality show, somebody has to throw something. That's how we get seen. Somebody's throwing a party. Somebody throwing I didn't pay my taxes off party. Somebody throwing I don't know. People throw parties all the time because we have to get the scenes, right? So we know that Mel threw this party for Kimmy back in episode 1 or 2, whatever it was, because she had to get the scene, right? But for Tisha to turn around and throw another event to get the scene, I'm wondering, is that production? Or were you throwing a party because you felt like you should have been throwing a party because that's your sister-in-law instead of Mel? Probably. It's a little bit of both. Because y'all definitely could have went to the spa for anything. But okay, whatever. So Kimmy sits them down and she says to them, so I really like how y'all both, invited each other to each other's parties. Y'all showed up. Y'all thanked each other for coming. Y'all have just been very cordial and I'm really enjoying that. So I want to know from the both of y'all, are we starting fresh? Are we moving forward? Is this a clean slate? Trust and believe, y'all. At this point in time that Mel and Tisha have been kikiing and acting like ain't shit happened, Kimmy knows. Kimmy, you know that they have decided to move forward. But the bigger question mark for me is, what sit down did y'all have with producers of the show to decide that y'all was going to continue filming together? Because this is basically what this was. This was a reenactment, in my opinion, of another sit down that they had as a cast to decide how Mel was going to continue filming with the people on this show. That's all it was. Kimmy already knew they was that cool. So she's like, I feel like we are the core components of the group and the things that we want to do for the city. So I want to make sure that we're good. Let me translate that for y'all. I don't know what they're doing for the city. I'm sure they are all doing things for the city individually. I'm not trying to knock them or, knock their credibility there. But the thing is this, we ain't seen them do nothing for the city together as a group. We have not seen Comeback Group do anything like that in a long time, in quite some time. So in order for me to translate that for y'all, we're the core components of the show. The show will not be great without all three of us and, the Comeback Group, the what is it called? The original six. And in order to keep this check rolling, we're going to have to learn how to be around each other and be cool. So let's reenact this conversation that we had with production. And I also want to know that we're going to get another renewed season of this show, because if one of y'all drop, I don't know what the show going to be giving. And that's what I took from it. That was my translation from the conversation that they had. What I thought was hilarious, though, was neither one of the women, Tisha nor Mel, addressed their relationship. Mel's response was, well, I think there's a respect factor that wasn't there. And I'm going to host a tea, what's it called? A high tea event, and have someone come and teach etiquette. So that way, if you have an issue with someone, you can just voice that and say, hey, I don't like how da-da-da-da. And Kimmy says, oh my gosh, I love that idea. But what was so funny was that was low-key shady. Like, let me go ahead and throw an etiquette class, because other side of the tracks ain't got no class. And it also was a way to not say, I don't fuck with her, okay? But in order to get this show, I'm going to keep going. In order to keep the show going, I'm going to keep going. So, y'all, they still don't fuck with each other. It was very clear to me. And Donna says, sidebar, you're a hair product girl. Have you heard of Canvas Beauty before this show? I actually have heard of Canvas Beauty before the show. She did a really good job with her Facebook marketing, because before I even started watching the show, I saw her hair growth serum that was allegedly growing people hair back. People was using wild growth oil, and they also was using one of her oils from Canvas Beauty. So yeah, I heard of her before. But anyway, yeah, that's just what it was given. So Tisha's like, yeah, I think this is good, because I want to sit down and have a conversation with all of y'all about this new venture, about this new idea that we got going on. And I'm like, girl, okay. So we move on from that scene to another produced scene, which is not on the screen, but it's fine. The next produced scene we get is Marceau and Tisha. Marceau comes home after having a deep conversation with Gino about how his wife should be more of a partner and not necessarily just, someone who he protects and shields from all information. So he comes home, and we get a scene that we don't get very often. We get Marceau expressing that he was wrong. And Tisha's like, oh my gosh, I could cry. This is just such a blessing, because, when you be praying for something and you be wanting to give up, when you be praying for something and you be wanting to give up, but God says keep going, and then finally he hears your prayer. That was funny to me. So they end up hugging it out, and he's talking about how he should treat her more of, like a partner, a husband and wife team, and that all relationships should be like that, because he want her to be a wolf, right? He don't want to just use her name for the women's, what's it called? The women's business grant, okay? Allegedly, I don't know. But anyway, they end up kissing, and he ends up saying, oh my gosh, we can sex out your makeup. And I have to say, y'all, it was an awkward scene for me. It was an awkward scene for me because we don't never see Tisha and Marceau like that. I'm not saying that I'm not happy for her that she's finally getting her man to act like he hears her, but it's very much giving production. And I'm just like, okay, so this is what we're doing this season. This is what we're doing this season. All right, that's cool. So yeah, it was just awkward. I don't remember the last time I seen them get intimate like that on the show. I remember the last time I remember that trying to happen was when they was in the hotel room around the same time that everybody thought they saw Marceau back in the hotel room. And Tisha was trying to look sexy and Marceau was basically just talking about work. So it was very weird to see that go on. Okay. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from that. So finally, we're gonna sit down and talk about this Black business expo. So Tisha and Marceau, they finally get the group together. They're late, of course. So we get Kimmy, Maurice, and Martell are the first ones there. It's a chair sitting right next to Martell, and Martell decides to move the chair to the other side of the table before Melody shows up. He says, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move this chair. Yeah, we got a lot going on right now. And then in his confessional is whenever he decides to start talking about the court case. He doesn't necessarily say what the court case is, but he says that they're in court, right? And why I feel like this is working a little bit backwards, because when the show first started, in episode 1, everybody was under the impression that Mel was kind of just coming off as being bitter. Mel did not want Martell to be happy. A lot of people was feeling like Mel was kind of being unnecessarily harsh to Martell. And the reason being is because Martell showed up as his best self. Martell wanted to walk her to the car. Martell wanted to ask everyone what his advice was. Martell wanted to co-parent with her. And he just wants what's best for the children at this point, right? But now that we have been watching the show in episodes, I think after episode 1 is when they finally discussed that it was a court case going on. I don't remember hearing that from Martell, but I do remember Mel speaking on it, and I remember him saying something about her having too many babysitters. It was not until this episode that we find out that Martell is finally addressing that there is a court case going on. So what I want y'all to do is put on your motherfucking thinking caps, and I want y'all to think about how crazy this man has to be to think that you can be actively trying to take a woman's children from her and saying that she's unfit while also trying to walk her to her car and also trying to make it seem like, you just want to be cool with her. Tell me, if y'all was on Mel's side of things, wouldn't y'all look at this man like he was crazy? And for Mel to even be able to sit in a room with him without wringing her hands around his fucking neck, I applaud her. Because when she walked into that room and she said hello to everyone, including Martell, y'all, I was just like, wow. Hey, J-Dub. I was just like, wow. Because it ain't no way that I could have walked into that room and not put my hands on that man. And if I didn't put my hands on that man, hold on, let me say this, okay? Let me say this. Hold on. I do not condone any type of physical harm. I never condone, especially women putting their hands on men. So let me rephrase. Ain't no way I couldn't walk into that room, leave at the end of the night, and sit in the car and not watch somebody who I paid to jump this man. Okay? It's no way. I just was in awe that Mel was able to have a conversation in that room with Martell there. Like, I don't think y'all understand what type of healing that takes, what type of peace that takes, because let me not expose myself. I was telling y'all at the beginning of the live that somebody will tell you everything you need to know about them if you listen to the thoughts way back here, like listen to what they say. I don't want to say too much. But I'm going to just say, Mel, kudos to you. Okay. So anyway, Tisha again begins to compliment Mel. And she's joking like, oh, what you got? You got a date going on after this? And y'all, the show is just giving very dry. It's giving very dry. These people don't fuck with each other. And we know they don't fuck with each other. It's giving very dry. Finally, they get into the presentation for the Black Business Expo. And, you know, they put together a little PowerPoint with one of the basic ass templates. And they're talking about how, you know, this is about us, and in the about us picture, it's Tisha and Marceau, and how they basically have an idea that they're going to move around as a panel and they're going to talk to people in different areas with Black businesses. They want to talk about Black excellence. So anyway, they finish the presentation and they're like, okay, great job. The only person who starts clapping is Martell, because Martell is the only one in the room who ain't got no builder's license. He probably couldn't even comprehend what they were saying, okay? He just knew the presentation was over, so he just started clapping. But anyway. Anyway, y'all, Kimmy ends up asking, what's the objective of this? And they basically say, you know, you can be involved as much as you want to or as little as you want to. And Kimmy's like, okay, I get it, but what's the objective? And it wasn't until now that I understood that it was a speaking panel that she wanted them to come on, because what is the Black Business Expo? What is that? I don't understand. Every city has a Black Business Expo, okay? Every single city. So I don't even understand, number one, why you came up with that name. Number two, what are y'all benefiting by going city to city to city to talk to people about Black business at the Expo? I don't understand. Okay. Now, my next thing is this. I don't know if y'all was watching Queens of R&B, but the more I thought about this, I was like, you know what? It's giving a little bit of Rocky and Tasha. It's giving Rocky and Tasha. It's giving Love and Marriage Huntsville on wheels, Love and Marriage Huntsville masterclass, but we gonna get a kickback. And I think that's what everybody was picking up from it. So Mel ends up saying, okay, so what's your fee for the speakers? And Tisha says, I want the whole event to be free. I didn't think we were going to charge people to come. I honestly wasn't thinking about paying anybody for anything. I just wanted it to be a free event to give back. This one thing that I never, ever trust, okay? And this come down to people I know in life, real life, okay? One thing I don't ever trust is a motherfucker. I'm sorry. Because I'm about to start. One thing I don't trust is somebody who has multiple nonprofits, okay? I do not trust people who have multiple nonprofits. Why? Because write off. And also, your salary can be gathered from the money that you raised. It's a scam, okay? It's giving high-class scammer. It's giving legal scammer. It's giving strategically smart. People want to give. When I tell y'all I do not contribute to shit like that, I'm sorry. I don't care how many little boys I see sitting outside of the grocery store with a laminated piece of paper and they asking for me to give them $2 to buy a candy bar to get to the AAU tournament. I won't do it, okay? I know people who have nonprofits for random shit, 2 and 3 nonprofits. Why? Because you don't have to work. You are tapping into the emotion of what people will give. And that's what I was trying to tell y'all about Marlo Hampton on Real Housewives of Atlanta, when she was saying, oh, well, I do this nonprofit full time. I do this for the girls. You ain't got to work, okay? So I don't trust it. And that's the same reason why I also don't trust that Tisha is the president of this company without any say so, without a desk. Why? Because if you know your way around business, then you know that there's all types of grants that you can get if you fall into certain criteria. Black owned business, woman owned business, first time such and such. There's so many grants that you can use, and all you have to do is do your research. So I don't trust this shit at all. So the fact that she is saying that she wants this to be a free event, they know they all in the same business. They're in real estate. They understand how these things work. These are business people, multi-million-dollar businesses. They know. So Kimmy ends up saying, "Oh, so let's get to the fee." Mel mentions what's the fee, and she says, "Oh yeah, y'all right. She's not the president. She's the owner." Yeah, okay. So Mel ends up saying, what's the fee? And she's saying that she wasn't planning on paying nobody. And Marceau ends up making a joke like, you should ask her what her fee is. Almost like he's trying to make fun of Mel. Like Mel is saying that she's too good to participate in the event without funds. But you ain't saying shit about your sister-in-law who's over there peeping everything that y'all are doing. Kimmy brings up another point because she's like, nah, Mel is bringing up the good questions, but I ain't gonna pipe down. My next question is this. What if you get a sponsorship? If the sponsorship gives y'all $100,000, is that just $100,000 for you and your husband to keep? Is that for everybody to have? And they said, no, we don't plan on doing that. But you can be involved as much as you want, or as little. Whenever somebody start asking you questions and you don't like that fire that's getting up under you, okay, Martell made the comment. Whatever. He said it to Marceau. So anyway, you don't like that fire that's up under you and how you don't have answers to questions that people are asking you whenever it comes to money and you're telling them you can be in it or not. That's, to me, feeling like you have something to hide. Whenever people get irritated when they have to explain themselves, I feel like you have something to hide. You can't bring a business idea to people, expect people to toast on it and get a verbal agreement all in one setting, and you don't have anything on the screen besides a damn PowerPoint about what this nonprofit is. You don't have any logistics on paper. You don't have nothing for them to look at. I would have done the same damn thing. And also, they said all the M names ridiculous. Yes, it's too much. So anyway, Tisha says to Mel, well, that's fine. We might not be able to afford you. And this comes shortly after Mel ends up asking if they're going to pay them to post on their social media. And this is very much the same vibe. People are asking you questions. You don't want to answer questions. So it's like, we might not be able to afford you. Like, don't ask me no more questions. We good. Okay, bet. So in the confessional, this is where I was like, yes, Mel. Thank you. Mel says, even though her and Tisha have decided to get back cool, she is not paying Tisha any favors at all. And I'm loving that. Because what this was given to me, y'all, and I'm going to talk to y'all about like just my overall view of this episode. My overall view of this episode, I know somebody gonna think I'm reaching. It just very much feels as though because Mel and Martell are not cool no more, because Mel and Martell are not the spearheads, well, they still are the spearheads, but because they aren't like the main couple of this show anymore, it's given very much like we're starting over at the beginning. Like they want to repurpose the comeback group, just like Kimmy said. Tisha wants to play cute with Mel because I think Tisha wants to run shit. That's what the spa date was. We done already had an event for Kimmy that was ran by Mel, but no, you had to redo the event because you want the last say so. Next, you try to repurpose the comeback group, and it's just like, I don't know. One thing I can say is, Tisha, you will never be that girl. And I mean that in the most respectful way. Tisha, you might be a lot of things, but when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville and just the seasons that we have watched from the beginning, I don't think that you will ever be that girl in the cast that everybody is initially gravitating to and trying to, like, you know, be cool with. I don't even think that she'll ever be that girl that everybody hates. And I'm saying that because, like, I mean, I don't feel no type of way about you, really. I don't feel no type of way about you. I know it might sound like I don't care for you at all, but I don't think that you have that. Hey, damn, y'all hear this ice cream man outside my house? Loud as hell. Anyway, I don't think that you have that. And I don't mean no disrespect, but it's just like, I don't want to start this show over. I don't want to see another season where y'all clean slate and now all of a sudden, you know, you and Mel just switch places. Now you think that you the trailblazer of the group. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this episode, y'all. It's giving very much produced. I hope that y'all are able to find episode 4 if you haven't. But J Dub, stop. J Dub said they live in a 1,200 square foot house with a $500,000 worth of cars. Woo! So I don't know. I don't know if y'all just need to take a break because y'all have been filming season to season to season to season. I don't know if y'all need to bring new people on the show. I mean, y'all brought Stormy on the show. Y'all brought Tiffany. Every time we've asked for new people, we pretty much have gotten new people. But I don't think it's giving, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Now, another thing, Ooh Ladies First panel is hosted on my channel this week, but I will unfortunately have to be out of town for the mom was talking. Anyway, I got to be out of town on Thursday. So I am going to go live on Wednesday with Jamie and Bondi. On Wednesday, it'll be for members only, and then I will premiere the episode on Thursday. So if you are not a member of my channel, Bondi or Jamie's channel, go ahead and become a member so you can go ahead and see the behind the scenes stuff. We post our interviews there first, and we do live interviews there too. So if y'all like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hold on, let me get my graphic. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and join my channel on my Instagram page. I have a channel DM group where I post whenever I go live. So be sure to, you know, join that so you don't miss nothing. Okay? I will see y'all in the next video. Y'all be good. Y'all take care. Be safe. Bye.